like, Jesus, I'd give out 2 contracts, you know, if kids fought. So that first fight was an absolute war. You know, the Amanda girl came to fucking win. You know, you could tell how much it meant to her to be here and to try to win that fight. And, you know, they both fought their ass off. But, I mean, there's no doubt Denise dominated, looked great. And, you know, she's 6-1 now. And she's not only is she tough and durable, but she's talented.
Yeah. Were any of them, I mean, were they all automatics to you? Because I thought the same thing. First 3, automatic. Darius, kind of a weird ending the way it ended, so I wondered what you would think about that one.
So he's standing in there. He told me he was going to do that. Yeah, he said nobody. So first I was in the back. He came out and asked the matchmakers where I was when he's standing in the octagon. And then I came out and he said, nobody's going to stand in between me and my dreams. You know, everybody thinks that I'm this weight, that weight. I couldn't hear everything exactly that he was saying. He's like, I'm going to smash this dude right now. And he literally did what he said he was going to do. How do you not bring that guy in? Not to mention the fact that he's a 3-1 underdog in that fight. You know? I mean, if you know, a lot of these kids out there bet all these parlays and stuff on these fights. If you're betting parlays, man, you should be betting on Tuesday nights. Because a lot of these odds makers got these fights blown way out of proportion. Nobody on Tuesday night is a 3-1 dog. Nobody. You can't handicap fucking heart and determination and how bad somebody wants to win. Every kid that comes into this show on Tuesday night, it is their dream to fight here. You can't handicap that. It's fucking impossible. So if you like betting parlays and you're a sick degenerate, Tuesday night is your night. Let me tell you. You'd have made some money tonight.
So do you recommend these fighters come call you out before they fight, like the way Darius did? Or would you
no, you don't have to listen. You don't even have to fucking talk. Just come out and fight. You know what I mean? If you come out and do what all these kids did tonight, I mean, look at this kid, Cameron. I told him his nickname should be the Future now. I don't know if he has a nickname, but wow. How technical he was in that fight. He fought a guy, don't let the 5-1 fool you. That guy's got 22 amateur fights. And that guy's so good that sometimes he starts goofing around and playing with people. You know what I mean? Because Sean said, I love this kid, Kim, but he's so good and so many levels above everybody else, he starts playing with people. After 2 minutes into the fight, I said, he better not fucking play with this guy. And, wow. Yeah.
He had the viral moment. Was that kind of the standout athlete for you, Cameron? I mean, with that huge knockout that he had, was he kind of the standout of everybody tonight?
Yeah, probably.
And you talked about the youth as well. I wonder, do you feel like this is kind of a shift maybe not only in your philosophy, it just shows the sport? I mean, because it's crazy. Like now you got these 20-year-old kids that were like 8 when they realized they wanted to be a UFC fighter, and they've been training since they were, you know what I mean? So it's like even though they're 20 years old, it's not like back in the day where they had a couple years of high school wrestling or something.
100%. Yeah, it's night and day. You had, you know, if you think about when I got into the game, you had Chuck Liddell who wrestled and did some kickboxing, you know, and Matt Hughes who wrestled and then started to train with Militich, and Robbie Lawler, who had great hands, and, you know, it's a completely different game today. And like I said, 5 years ago, I wasn't signing 21-year-olds. I wasn't signing 22-year-olds. There's no way. You had to be 25 or 26 years old, have a good record, and be well-rounded. And then you see, you know, kids like this kid Cameron, the 2 girls we saw fight in San Diego a couple weeks ago. I mean, that's what you're starting to see now.
I wanted to ask you if you got a chance to listen in to Sean O'Malley on the mic tonight, what you thought of his performance, and do you want to see him do some more commentating?
No, I didn't hear it, but, you know, I'm sure he did fine. I didn't hear it.
Nice. Last thing for me, I just want to follow up over the weekend. Have you had a chance to check in with Kamaru Usman yet and see how he's doing and all that?
We talked. He's in great spirits. And, you know, obviously he wants the rematch bad. You know, but he said, I can't tell you the weight that's been lifted off me. You know, there's a lot of pressure that goes along with the run that he was on and tying and breaking Anderson's record and, you know, all that stuff. There's a lot of pressure. So he's looking forward to the rematch. And I saw Leon today too. You know, that kid's walking on water and couldn't be, you know, higher than he is right now.
That's the last question I was going to ask you is, has Leon given you an indication of his plan? Because I'm sure he wants to celebrate a little bit, you know, becoming a champion, but has he told you, like, how quick he wants to fight? And
he's down. He's ready to defend. He's ready to take on whatever it is, you know, He's going on a whirlwind media tour when he goes home. You know, a lot of stuff changes when you get that belt. So his whole world's about to change in the next few weeks. And but he's ready. He's ready for it. Yeah, talk about somebody that's had nothing but bad luck. And one of the things that we were talking about is that kid is he accepted the Hamzat fight 2 or 3 times, who was unranked. He's legit, man. That kid is legit and was down to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. He just had a really great string of bad luck.
Yeah. Going back to tonight, obviously you mentioned Denise 22, Cameron 21. Are we going to reach a point now where these young guys are so well-rounded that their prime is becoming earlier, or they're as good as people whose prime would traditionally be 27?
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's a great question because, you know, if this kid's this good at 21, 22, what's he going to look like when he's 26 and has experience here? Once you come in here and get this kind of experience, it's a whole nother level. So tonight was obviously, you can't even call it a good test for him because he was over 2-1 underdog. Tonight, that kid shined, and we're going to find out, you know, what he does over the next. He's going to be fun to watch.
But even for those younger guys, it's almost more interesting, right? Because traditionally, those people would still be on the regional scene, fighting in front of a few hundred people. To come onto a platform like this, it shows that they're mentally tougher than we're traditionally used to as well, right?
100%. To get through something like the Contender and the Ultimate Fighter, you got to be not just talented. Obviously, talented gets you on the show, but you have to be physically and emotionally badass.
You mentioned about the fighter with 22 amateur fights. I know he lost tonight, but I'm curious if you actually have a take on that. Should younger guys, look to have more amateur fights, or do you think that those kind of waste time, you're not getting paid for them? What's your take on amateur fights?
I'm not a big fan of amateur fights because the guys don't get paid to fight them. But, I mean, if you look at, Kim, the guy had 22 fights, but it didn't help him tonight.
So it's pretty much like whatever is best for that person individually, I guess, right?
The problem with this sport is that anybody can win on any given night. Anybody can win. So I don't know. You know, that's your own personal preference. If you feel like you want to get a bunch of amateurs under your belt and get more well-rounded, you know, work on some holes in your game, whatever it is, before you try to get in the UFC, that's totally up to you.
With Kamaru and Leon, both of them have said they want to fight in England for that third fight, and that would obviously be huge. Would that be the sort of thing that you'd go back to when Bisping fought over there, that you'd have to hold it at 4 a.m., or are those days kind of behind us and you can have it prime time, local time because of streaming and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, first of all, this thing is going to be so huge, not just for the UK, but for Europe. And, we would hold it prime time in the UK.
You having second thoughts about Wembley yet, or you still think that could be an option?
We're looking at every option out there right now. We're looking at all the venues in England.
That's awesome.
Not just London. We're looking at every venue in England. We're looking at everything.
Yeah, I think there's an indoor one in Cardiff that has 75,000. That has a roof on it.
We're looking. We're seeing what's available and what's not, and there's a lot of curfews and things you got to deal with in England, but we literally worked on that today. Yeah.
I know that market is obviously amazing at the moment, and you could probably do whatever you want over there. But having a fight like this with an English guy in the main event as champion, does this just take it to this is where Canada used to be? This is now a hub of MMA.
We put a fight night on sale at the O2, and it sells out in minutes. Imagine what we can do with this thing. It's going to be massive over there. We weren't planning on going to England again, just like last time I left England. I mean, think about how long I've been working on the UK, how many years I've been working on the UK, and we're finally where I hoped we would be someday. So we weren't supposed to go there. We were supposed to go somewhere else. I won't say it because it'll bum everybody out, but I'm not going there now, and I'm going to England. I just got to figure out what arena.
All right, cool. Last thing from me, who was on the phone at the press conference after the fight on Saturday?
What happened?
Who was on the phone? Who FaceTimed you after?
Usman.
Okay, it was Usman.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Dana.
Yep.
With 5 weeks in the books, is there a singular fighter so far that's really stuck out to you?
With 5 weeks, yeah, it would have to be Cameron. There's been some great fights, and I hate to overlook anybody. You know, the two guys that pop into my head right now are Cameron and Joe Pfeiffer, because the first show was so bad, and that kid just, you know, stuck out like a sore thumb. You know, it was, yeah, off the top of my head.
And then with so many contracts being given out, does that mean a roster purge is coming soon?
No, I haven't even thought about that, actually. I don't think there's going to be we haven't had any discussions in matchmaking that there's too many, that we're too fat right now. So everybody's looking good. Plus, you got a lot of people retiring now, too. There's a lot of, we had matchmaking today, and there's a lot of guys coming up in fights that are heading up that we know are going to probably hang it up.
Tony Ferguson versus Leach got announced. What was the thought process of matching those two guys up?
What was the question?
Tony Ferguson and Leach. What was the thought process of matching those guys up?
Hell of a fun fight. Should be a fun fight. And Tony wanted to fight a weight class up, so that was the fight that we thought would be fun. And both guys were ready to do it, and both guys wanted to fight each other.
Cool. And then finally for me, Paul Acosta, have you met with him for a new contract yet? I know that he's been looking for one.
No, but we'll get it figured out.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right.
You talk about this 21-year-old that came in tonight and got a contract. You know, you guys are breaking records. You know, you said this is like something that you never thought you would do before. You never thought you'd sign. September 20th, week 9 of this, you guys have the 17-year-old that's coming in. How much pressure is going to be on this kid to try to make an impression for you guys when you guys weren't even sold on 21-year-olds?
No, you're right. That's a great question. The pressure is going to be huge for that kid. And if we sign that kid, I mean, that kid's got to be the youngest ever. I think Vitor was 19 when Vitor got signed. And how old was Macy? How old was she?
Sage Northcutt was 18, I think.
There you go, Sage. There you go. Yeah, so we'll see. And listen, if he can fight his ass off, I don't care if he's 9.
He's fighting a 7-1 guy, so I mean, he's not getting an easy fight. By
Nobody does. Nobody gets easy fights. It's one of the things that we were talking about today. Like when Leon was saying, "Oh man, Nate Diaz is you know, they should be giving Nate Diaz this easy fight, and they should be doing this and that." That's not what we do here. That's not what we do. When you come here, you're fighting the absolute best. And the thing about the Contender Series is you're fighting the absolute best out there that are unsigned in your weight class. The best versus the best. And look at how that plays. It's a pretty fucking simple formula when you're in the fight business. When you put the best against the best, I mean, look what happens. When's the last time we had a shitty fight? Like, I was just telling these guys in matchmaking today, I did If You Don't Know, leading into San Diego. And you know, you have these fucking morons on the internet that just start posting, "Oh, this is a fucking Apex fight. You should have left this fight at the Apex," and all this shit. I rolled out of San Diego like this. See you later. It was, you know, that card was fucking incredible. I mean, if you were there, it felt like a pay-per-view being there that night in the arena. So, I mean, when's the last time you left a UFC event and went, meh? It hasn't happened in a very, very long time.
And I guess the last question, I guess a moment to kind of to show your proudness. You know, you were seeing these kids, these 21-year-olds, these 17-year-olds. They grew up in a sport that always had the UFC. How proud does it make you to see the growth of these kids now that have started, just like you talked about the Randy Couture's earlier? These kids have came into the sport now with the UFC always there as an example of what these kids are striving for. Is that a moment of pride for you?
Yeah, there's so many things that I'm proud of that we've done in this sport. And what I'm really excited about is, think about this, right? What year did we build the PI? 16, 17? Huh? Yeah, like 5 years ago. We've already done 2 expansions over there, and we built this place over here, right? Now, look at what's going on in China, right, with the PI there. I'm building a PI in Mexico. I'm building a PI in Puerto Rico. I'm building a PI in Africa, right? Wait till these are all done and in place, and then think about the next 7 years after that thing's built, right? And think about this sport in another 10 or 12 years, where it's going to be, how big it's going to be. And this is the shit that I was saying 10 years ago. And, yeah, I mean, we've done it. We roll into Paris here pretty soon for our first ever event in Paris. And before you know it, I've been talking to you guys forever about Africa. We're going to be rolling into Africa pretty soon. And it's awesome, man. I love it. I'm still having a blast. I love everything we're working on and everything we're going to do.
Hi, Dana. Special night for Brazilians, 4 Brazilian fighters, 1 contract. Do you think we can have a Contender Series Brazil again soon, maybe 2023?
In Brazil?
No, here, but Contender Series Brazil, like 2018.
Like a version of it in Brazil?
Here.
Here, but just all Brazilians.
Just like we did before with the Contender Series Brazil, we could do another one of that here in the U.S. But all Brazilians.
All Brazilians?
Yes, like in 2018 was here in Vegas. At the old
What the fuck is wrong with me? Why do I not understand this question?
Because we did have one before. We did a season 1.
Season 1, we did all Brazil. Yeah, okay. Got it. I don't know. Took me long enough to figure that out to say I don't know.
After the first fight, what did you say to Amanda? She lost the first fight. What did you tell her?
Oh, yeah. I went over and I gave her win money. I told her she's getting her win money, and what a fucking absolute war she put on, and how much respect I had for her. And she said, I don't want the money, I want the contract. And I said, listen, you keep doing what you're doing, you keep fighting. We're absolutely positively going to see you someday. So, yeah, I was very impressed with her performance tonight.
Perfect. Last one for me. Gilbert Burns was saying that he was about to fight Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal was in the plan. Does it make sense for you, Gilbert Burns against Jorge Masvidal? Maybe December, maybe next year.
Yeah, I like it. You like it?
I love that. I love it.
Then I'll do it.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Just one more day, another welterweight. Have you guys spoken to Colby? And can he fight with the legal stuff he's got going on, or is he going to be gone for a while? Do you know what's happening?
Colby?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Colby wants to fight. He's ready to fight, and we're making plans for him here soon.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep. Good? Thanks for coming, guys. Have a great night.
No, I love that shit.
Yes. Ding, you got mail. My son's doing this. Your head's in the box.
congratulations, obviously, on getting a contract. What are the emotions like for you right now?
Parabéns por conseguir o contrato. Como é que estão suas emoções agora?
Acho que não caiu a ficha ainda. Vai demorar um pouco, mas eu já consigo sentir a emoção de me ver lutando no UFC.
Yeah, I don't think it hasn't really dawned on me about what just happened, but I can feel the emotions and just thinking about fighting for the UFC now.
A fight you clearly won, but not an easy fight by any stretch. Was that the type of fight that you were expecting tonight?
Foi uma luta que claramente você ganhou, mas não foi uma luta fácil. Era isso que você estava esperando?
Eu costumo não subestimar ninguém e foi uma luta muito dura, mas eu nunca peço para ser uma luta fácil, eu peço para ir lá e fazer o meu trabalho bem feito.
Yeah, it was a tougher fight than I imagined, but I never asked for an easy fight. I just wish I want just to have the strength to go in there and do the job.
You, of course, had to wait the longest since you were first of the night. As you were watching the rest of the night unfold, were you worried that a decision wasn't going to be enough, or were you confident that you'd have it?
Tendo sido a primeira que lutou, né? Você foi quem esperou mais, né? Assistindo todas as nocautes e finalizações, te preocupou um pouco de você ter ganhado por decisão?
Eu acho que eu estava um pouco confiante, modéstia à parte, porque eu tenho certeza que eu subi lá e fiz um bom trabalho. Eu e a Rayane e a Amanda fizemos uma boa luta e eu estava sentindo já que eu ia ser contratada, porque eu entreguei uma coisa boa que eu acho que todo mundo gostou de ver.
Yeah, honestly, like I was very proud of the work that we did in there, me and Hayani, and I truly believe that what we put out there, the show that we did, was more than enough to get a contract.
Well, now that's here, I guess last question for me. What's the ideal scenario for the debut? Is it to fight in Brazil? Is there a date on the calendar? Like, what's the plan for your debut?
E quais os planos ideais para a sua estreia no UFC? Tem alguma data? Tem algum lugar que você gostaria?
Não tem data, não tem lugar, mas eu estou aqui disponível, não me machuquei, não acho que eu vou estar machucada, estou pronta. Eu já saio querendo mais.
Not really. Like I didn't get injured. I'm fine. I can fight as soon as they want to have me, and I'm leaving here ready for the next assignment.
Denise, how does it feel to be in the UFC with your girlfriend, Carol?
Como que você se sente estando no UFC agora com a sua namorada, Carol? Esposa, né?
Eu acho que eu me sinto, acho não, certeza, me sinto muito feliz poder estar junto com ela, fazendo o que a gente ama e com alguém tão especial. A luta fica um pouco mais fácil com alguém que a gente ama, é isso.
Yeah, I'm so happy that I'm with her, and being together with someone that you love, doing something that you love, just makes everything easier, makes the fight easier.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You had quite the cheering section out there. How much did you hear them, and how much did they help carry you in that fight?
Você estava com uma baita torcida lá, né? Quanto que você conseguiu ouvir deles e como que te ajudou ou não, como que influenciou a luta?
Eu tento não demonstrar, tento ficar focada na luta, mas eu sinto a todo momento o pensamento positivo, a torcida de cada um. Isso tem uma grande importância quando a gente sobe lá dentro. A gente sente no coração da gente isso, com certeza.
I try not to deviate too much from the plan and just try to focus on what I'm doing, but for sure all the support that I have, I can feel it in my heart, and it definitely helps.
And last for me, you had a lot of great spinning kicks and a lot of flashy movements out there. Is that kind of what we can expect to see from you in the UFC?
Durante a luta a gente viu chute giratório, vários movimentos, né, mais acrobáticos ali. É isso que a gente pode esperar de você dentro do UFC?
Eu sou uma pessoa que arrisca. Nem sempre vai dar certo, mas acho que arriscar não custa nada. Um dia eu vou acertar, um dia eu vou pegar o time, um dia eu vou amadurecer nisso e aprender a fazer isso bem feito.
I'm a risk taker, and I know that, if I trade enough out there, eventually I'm going to get the timing, I'm going to get it right, and I'm going to hit it. And when I do, I'm going to learn, and I'm only going to get better.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, congratulations. I don't think things could have gone much better than they did for you tonight. So just what's the emotion for you like right now?
Amazing. Very relieved. A lot of pressure coming into this fight. I rate Josh Wong Kim a lot. I respect him a lot. He's a very good opponent. And like I said, the perfect opponent to make a Contender Series debut against. And yeah, it couldn't have gone better. So I'm very grateful. Yeah,
like you said, a dangerous opponent, right? I mean, he showed some things in there as well. Did anything surprise you in there at all, or did it play out kind of as you expected?
His range surprised me quite a lot. We knew he was going to be so dynamic, and he's going to move well, come with fiery kicks and very awkward style. But how well he moved, that surprised us quite a lot. So luckily we could have made the adjustments after that second round and get the finish.
Great fight, highlight reel finish. I mean, once it's done, I mean, pretty much in your head, you know, like that's a guarantee.
There was still like a little bit of a question mark just because of my age. But my head coach Mornay Visser, you know, he was happy, so I was happy. My team was happy, so I was happy with my performance. And then once he said we got that contract, that was also a massive sign of relief.
Dana kind of talked about it, you know, the younger fighters are just better now because they're starting younger, you know what I mean? Maybe you got to start looking at younger guys, but I just wonder for you, I mean, like mentally at your age, is it difficult to process, like, I'm at the highest level of this sport now? Is that difficult to wrap your head around a little?
No, not at all. You know, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. When it comes to my team, Team CIT back in South Africa, those are the guys that I look up to, I turn towards for knowledge and guidance in the sport. So, you know, I am very fortunate to have giants around me. So it makes it much easier. I started the sport at 12 years old. I moved to CIT when I was 14 years old. And, you know, they've been my second family for close to a decade. So, yeah, it's great.
Did you get to slip in a workout at the PI yet? Are you heading over there after? Or how does that work?
I really hope they're still open because I want to keep my word, but I think they close at 6, so I'm not sure. I don't know.
Are you going with this future nickname? I mean, when the boss gives you a nickname.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna have to ask my team. You know, like back in South Africa, they call me MSP. It has a Afrikaans reference as well, but so we'll see. We'll decide once we get back home.
Lastly for me, I'm sure you want to celebrate this moment a bit, but ideal scenario for UFC debut. I mean, are there names that you want? Are there dates that you want? Locations that they know the UFC is going? Like, what's the ideal scenario for the debut?
No names, no dates. I'll chat to my manager to see what we can arrange. It would be great if I can do it with my teammate Dricus du Plessis on the same card. That would be absolutely amazing. Then the whole Team CIT can go take over that card.
Hey, Cameron.
Hi.
Do you think you're going to feel pressure being the youngest fighter in the UFC now? Like, now everyone's going to be like, oh, like, they're going to know you as the youngest fighter. Like, does that come with pressure?
Since I started my pro career, there's always been pressure. You know, I turned a pro when I was 18 years old, and back in my country, there was a lot of resistance from the community because of that, and that almost just fuels the fire we have. I'm gonna up my work rate. It's already, I think, quite high. We're gonna try and better it, be more professional, get in more sessions, and be absolutely ready for that debut.
Speaking of that, did you have your first amateur fight when you were 14 years old?
Yes, that's correct.
How was that?
That was quite weird, actually. It wasn't supposed to happen because it wasn't legal, but yeah, it did. So yeah, we managed to squeeze in a few fights before they told the commission at that stage told us, listen, you can't do this. So.
And then during the fight, you were slapping his back. What was the thought process with that?
Just, we have a very famous calling for that back in South Africa. I'm not going to say it, but it's just to get him to react, and it actually worked quite well. You know, his control was very good on the ground, so using those slaps just to get him moving a little bit, it's a game of inches. So if you give me an inch, I'm gonna use it to get up, and it worked perfectly. That comes from the brilliant mind that is my head coach Mornay Visser, sitting right there. So it's all credit to him.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I got to know about these 14-year-old fights. Were you fighting other 14-year-olds or like adults?
At, at that stage, I think the guy I fought in that debut was maybe 16 or 17. I really can't remember, but yeah, it was more or less that age. Yeah,
How did the fight go exactly?
that's a good question. I think it was my debut as an amateur. I think it was like a third round TKO. The ref stopped the fight after I kicked him in the head. That might have been the second fight. I can't remember. Yeah.
And having fought at that age, would you encourage or do you think it's okay for kids that age to fight now that you're older and maybe a little wiser?
Of course, there's nothing as strong as an Afrikaans South African, you know. So we also have a great kids program back in South Africa, and we train the kids. Obviously, we do it much smarter than that, but to compete and go through that adversity, I think is great for any child, and it worked out well for me.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Hello, everyone, and thank you.
Well, congratulations on the UFC contract. Obviously, a big moment in your career. What's the emotion like for you right now?
Bueno, felicidades por el contrato del UFC. Obviamente un momento muy importante en tu carrera, tu vida. ¿Cómo están las emociones?
Estoy muy contento, la verdad ya saqué el trabajo que venía pensado desde hace tiempo. Me siento libre, me siento listo para tomar unas buenas vacaciones con toda mi familia, darle la vida que se merece. Ya estamos en la mejor empresa del mundo en artes marciales mixtas y estos 12 años valieron la pena, cada segundo. Muchas gracias a todos.
Obviously very happy. I mean, this is the work that we put on and it paid off, and I'm kind of ready for a vacation with my family. I am in the best MMA organization in the world, and ¿qué dijiste al final? Solo un poquito, ¿dijiste algo?
Pues gracias a todos.
No, un poquito antes.
Sí.
You said something specific, and ¿qué me vio?
No recuerdo también.
Traigo. It's like about vacation, with family, and then very much thank you to everyone. Just I want to make sure that that's something.
La adrenalina, las emociones están al máximo. Me siento completamente feliz y orgulloso del trabajo que he hecho y que ha hecho todo mi equipo todo mi equipo de mi restaurante y mi equipo de trabajo de entrenamiento.
Obviously, very happy with all the work and very proud of the work that we all put in. Like not just the team at Intrum, at the gym, but also the gym at my restaurant. Everybody that's with me. The thing that I missed was like actually relieved. Felt a relief. That's what it was.
Obviously, you got to finish, but not an easy fight. He challenged you earlier. I guess, how did you feel about your performance overall tonight, and was it a little tougher than you thought it might be?
Obviamente lograste la finalización, pero fue difícil. Fue un momento, fue una lucha, una pelea difícil. ¿Cómo te fue la pelea? ¿Cómo se dio la pelea?
Mis entrenadores me prepararon para esto. La mentalidad me habían dicho que es muy importante. Ese es mi fuerte. Mantener la calma, mantener esa energía, no ir para atrás. Estaba preparado para un gran rival, yo ya lo he visto pelear y pues ganó la vez pasada, pero no lo quería más que yo. yo lo necesito y ya estoy dentro. Y no es casualidad, es trabajo duro.
Very well prepared for my team. They talked about the mentality. That's a very important thing that you need to keep pressuring on and don't let things down. I understand that he's a good fighter. I've watched his fights before, but this is a team effort, and it's not for. This is not. It wasn't a. It didn't just happen. This is a fruit of our work, and I wanted more. And I wanted it for my family, and that's why it happened.
After you got the submission, were you confident that you'd have the contract, or did you have to wait it out until you finally heard the words? Like, how confident were you that that was enough to get me in the UFC?
Cuando estabas ahí después de la pelea, ¿estabas confiante de que habías ganado el contrato? ¿Te quedaron dudas en alguna capacidad, en algún momento? ¿Cómo estabas ahí en el momento que, bueno, voy a estar adentro de UFC?
La verdad, mi espíritu estaba completamente entregado a Dios. No estaba pensando mucho en el contrato, más bien estaba pensando, de hecho gané y todavía como que estaba volando mi imaginación, estaba dentro de la pelea, estaba enfocado, estaba en mi superpoder, decimos mi coach y yo, enfocado con esa furia de la victoria. Soy un guerrero nato y la verdad, cuando ya me entró el 20 de que, ya gané, pensé que cometí algunos errores que tengo que arreglar. Sin embargo, tenía la fe de que sí me iban a dar el contrato porque mi guillotina fue muy fuerte, me salí de una guillotina también, pegué buenos codos, hice buenos derribes, entonces creo que el contrato lo tengo bien merecido.
I was not actually thinking about that. I was in my element. I was just talking to myself in my imagination. We talk about the superpower at the gym that we have. I just was so focused on the victory, so focused on the fight throughout the process and wanting to win. And when I actually realized, well, I won, I understand I made mistakes. I wasn't perfect. But I think I was able to, of course, with the guillotine, it was a strong one, but also I was able to get some elbows in there. Some takedowns that were pretty strong, and I just think that this was that. It was a natural thing that I was confident.
Last thing for me, I know you want to take some time and celebrate this with the family, but I guess ideally, when do you make the UFC debut? Is there an opponent or a date or a location? When do we see you fight first?
La última cosa de mi parte, obviamente, que mencionaste es que quieres sacar un poco de vacaciones con tu familia, estar con ellos un poquito, pero ya tienes alguna cosa en la cabeza, como por ejemplo una fecha, tal vez un lugar o algún tiempo más o menos de espera. ¿Cuándo quieres pelear de nuevo?
Me encantaría pelear cuando mi coach me diga. Hay algunas cosas que afinar. Yo creo que pasando diciembre, quiero pasarlo con mi familia, quiero arreglar algunos asuntos para estar completamente enfocado en mi carrera como peleador y ya arreglando esos asuntos y arreglando esas fallas que tengo técnicas, vamos a estar listos para pelear, pero mi coach, mi head coach, tiene la decisión.
I want to fight when my coach says I'm ready to go. I want to fine-tune a couple of things. I would like to maybe give it to December and stay with the family so that I will be completely focused on the fight at hand. But you know what? My coach has this. I mean, he got this covered. Tranquilo.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Darius, I guess you said nobody was going to stand in your way. Nobody did. So what's the feeling like right now as you've secured this UFC contract?
Honestly, it hasn't really settled in yet. I still got adrenaline pumping in me. I'm gonna have some fun tonight, so it probably won't settle in until the morning. But I'm happy, man. It's the best day of my life right now, other than when my daughters was born. This is the best day of my life.
Nice. You know, obviously the fight ended in kind of a weird way, right? But it's not like a freak injury. I mean, it's through a slam that you helped cause. So, but I am curious, right? The fight ends that way. Is there any part of you that's like, oh man, is that gonna be enough?
Well, the only thing that kind of bothers me is like the naysayers. I really didn't get to, show my work, how hard I've been working. But I looked good. I went out and did what I said I was going to do. So I mean, I'm happy. I got the contract. Shit, nothing really else matters about that. Yeah, I got the contract. Haters are going to still be haters. There's still going to be some guys that don't believe, even when I fry some guys in the UFC. You know what I mean? When I start frying these guys on in the skillet.
What possessed you to go talk to Dana White ahead of time and kind of call your shot?
Well, that's just me. I was just saying hi. He's sitting right here. You know what I mean? Oh, what up, my boy? I fucking think about you every day. Of course I'm going to say something to you. I'm not going to be up here and be shy. I got a lot of fights, so I'm not nervous. I'm not going to let, nerves get in the way of anything at all. You know what I mean? I do this for real, you feel me? So I'm going to be myself, like my coaches always tell me to be. You know what I mean? Just be yourself.
As you see your future in the UFC, I mean, what weight class do you see it at?
I see my future at, honestly, both welterweight and lightweight. Honestly, I'm going to take lightweight a little bit more serious, obviously, and chase the title, because I feel like I can be a champion here within the next few years or couple years, if it even, takes that long. We got to get through the first contract and all that crap first, but I feel like I can be a lightweight world champion for sure, like Khabib style.
Nice. Last thing for me, I guess. What's the ideal scenario for the debut? I mean, do you have names already that you want, or a date, or a location? Like, when do we see you compete?
Not at lightweight. I don't have names, and I'm not gonna call anybody out at welterweight because, like, I'm going down to lightweight. I don't even know who's on the roster. I just know that no lightweight's gonna get in my way at all.
Is there a date that you'd like to circle down the calendar? Like, when would you like to make your debut?
If I can help the UFC with anything short notice at welterweight, I would love to. I want to fight 3 more times this year if I can. I'm like the most active fighter you can find. If not two more times, I'm trying to get out this contract, get to my next contract, you know what I mean, and brand myself, start making those big bucks, and you know what I mean, me and Dana start making some money together.
Hey, Darius.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
I was going to say more than all right.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Someone from Emran's team is saying that his injury occurred during the submission attempt, not during the slam. I want to know what you have to say about that.
I don't care. You lost. TKO. I got the contract. Stop being fucking salty. That's why I didn't shake your hand, because you're a piece of shit. Go Glades.
And I want to know what kind of shoes are you going to buy next?
I'm not buying any shoes till I get a performance bonus, till I get my first performance bonus, get that 50K. I got enough pair of shoes. I got enough clout off my last shoes, thanks to you. So, but yeah, I'm not a super flashy guy. Once I get in the position to be more flashy, once I earn some more things, then I'll, start breaking out of my shell. But I got to put some work in first, you know what I mean? Get some wins under my belt, and then get into a new contract. There's no point in me, being flashy under this developmental contender series contract. I got to stay humble, and just keep being humble, keep working hard, and winning fights. You know what I mean? Fuck some gym shoes. I don't care.
And this is you in your shell? What are you going to be like when you come out of your shell?
I'm gonna be a fan favorite, obviously. I'm being pretty cool right now. It's a lot of things that I want to say and do, but obviously I can't. But this moment is so surreal. So just trying to soak it all up and stay humble,
And one last question. Some of us on Media Row were discussing whether you are a villain or a hero. What do you think?
I was a villain before. That shit don't get you nowhere. I'm a hero. I'm a humble. I help people out as much as I can. I try to do the right things. I was raised in the church. Shout out to my dad. What's up, Pops? I see you watching. I know you watching. What's up, Mom? But yeah, I was raised in the church. I'm a good guy, dog. Got a good heart. Definitely not a villain. I hate villains. My opponent tonight, he was a villain, and I've been stalking his page. You can tell he's not a good, nice guy. You know what I mean? I don't like villains.
Thank you.
Hey, Darius.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Great, great.
That was basically a perfect tombstone pile driver.
DDT.
You a fan of The Undertaker?
Nah, I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. WWF days. I'm not with the WWE, no disrespect. If you guys want to hire me after I'm done with the UFC, go ahead. We'll have fun together, make some money.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. And what's your chest tattoo?
It's a Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu symbol. I had my first loss as an amateur. I fell in love with Jiu-Jitsu because I got triangled. And ever since then, like, I'm addicted to grappling. I'm addicted to Jiu-Jitsu, and that's just my way to show respect because Jiu-Jitsu really changed my life. I know a lot of guys that just grapple. They don't even fight, and they're totally different people. Jiu-Jitsu changes life, so that was my way just to show my respect and show my love back to the jiu-jitsu community. You know what I mean? I had 8 arm bars as an amateur, so like I was addicted, right? And then I think Dana White likes knockouts more than he likes submissions, so I got 9 out of 12 wins, 9 knockouts out of 12 wins. So, but I plan on breaking some arms, breaking some more necks, and casting some more checks.
You said you were going to turn up tonight. What is the plan?
Oh shit, my howler head. Where's my howler head that Dana White gave me? Hell yeah, I haven't tried it. I've been looking forward to trying it. I'm gonna be freaking drinking howler head all the time now, Dana. So if you want to sponsor me, go right ahead. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get in where I fit in.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? God bless you all.
Big, obviously, congratulations on getting the UFC contract job done. I guess what's the feel like for you right now?
It still hasn't sunk in. It doesn't feel real at all yet. It's crazy, crazy.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, you didn't get a lot of time in there, right? But overall, how did you feel about your performance tonight?
That was exactly how I thought the fight would go. Obviously, nobody wants to get hit, but it's part and parcel of fighting. I knew he was explosive. I knew he was going to try and take me head off. But I knew he'd tire. Like, I'm fit for a heavyweight. Most of them aren't. But, like, unfortunately, not always the best one wins. But I feel like the best one did win tonight. And I showed me skill. I was durable. Few mistakes in there, but I always need to get better. But I think that was perfectly how I expected him to fight. But he fought southpaw his last 2 fights, so I've been doing loads for southpaw, and he came out orthodox, which I thought he might have done. So it was like a full 6 weeks wasted going traveling. Well, not wasted, but I can fight southpaws now. So
that's funny. Yeah, like you said, you took a couple shots early. I'm curious. I mean, did any of them sting you seriously?
One definitely was a big shot. I remember feeling it, but I just quickly watched it back down on my phone. My friend sent us it, and I stung him just as bad. And then the mistake was we both started swinging while I didn't have to. I tied him up okay. There was a few mistakes in the scrambles, but he was just 100 mile an hour. So when I did eventually like get him down and show me skill, I knew he can't keep that up for 3 rounds. But I can keep up what I did for 3 rounds easy.
Yeah. Once you got to the back, were you a little bit surprised at just kind of maybe how easy the choke presented itself?
So when I took him down the first time, he like built back up a little bit, but I could feel him like fading a little bit. And then the second time I took him down, he like turned over and I could tell he was done. Like he used all his energy. Like he went 100 mile an hour. You can't do that forever. But like it's experience as well. Like I need to get better. So
once you got done, were you confident? Like, hey, that's definitely gonna be enough to get the deal.
Yeah, like I just thought in the back of my head, like just go out and enjoy it. Just fight like how I'd fight. Don't go crazy, because sometimes people go in that crazy and they're like, don't fight like themselves and they lose. I just have to hope that like he likes me for me. So the game plan was just be myself, enjoy it, and the closer I got the fight, I actually got less and less nervous. Like I trained with some absolute killers, and I'm finally confident in myself. Like I feel like I can beat anybody.
Nice. Last thing for me, I guess, what's the ideal scenario for your debut? Like, how soon would you like to fight? Do you try to wait and see if a European card, or would you rather for over here? I mean, what's the ideal scenario for you?
European card would be great. Obviously, fight in front of fans, like a big arena, something like that would be great. Yeah, whatever the offer is, like I said, I don't have time off. I've got a holiday booked for a week. That's the only time I'll ever have off, probably ever. So I'll enjoy my holiday, get back in the gym, train straight away, and like I train all year round. There's like no such thing as a fight camp. I just spar a little bit harder, but I'm always in the gym and I'm always just trying to get better.
Right, mate. Dante, the UFC are talking about going to England with Leon versus Kamari 3, and they're mentioning venues like Wembley and Cardiff Stadium. Would it be a little bit surreal to have your UFC debut in somewhere as big as that?
That was crazy. That would be crazy. My friend rang us and he was like, England card, definitely get on it. So that would be crazy, because I've actually been to the last 2 events at the O2 to watch my friends Paul and Tom fight. So the atmosphere is absolutely amazing. So to walk out, I remember the first one watching it, all the guys got finishes. I remember thinking, this is going to be me. Like, it's amazing.
What's it like training with Tom and Paul?
Great. Like, I feel like I've got the best training partners in the world for striking, grappling and wrestling. Especially for big guys, it's hard to get even one, and I've got like 3. Obviously, Tom's amazing, like everyone can say that, and Paul's obviously off his back. He's like, well, probably the best in the world at grappling. So I've got other training partner, Big Phil, back home as well. I train with all year round, and he's like wrestling's like disgusting. So shout out to Phil, because that double leg was from him.
He's a character as well.
Yeah, he's definitely a character.
Hey, Mick. I just wanted your thoughts on England getting another UFC champion and then Leon's win last Saturday.
Yeah, it was. We actually the hotel was stopping at. We tried to get in the bar to watch it. That was like went all over Vegas. No, I was showing this apart from the hotel we were originally at. So like travelled all the way back. Tried to get in, couldn't get in. Was standing outside watching it. Like one of the lads, like he's fighting the Contender Series Tuesday. They were like, and then I was with Big Paul, and somebody went out and got a picture with him, and the waitress was like, I might be able to squeeze you in now. So we managed to get in and watch it, and then obviously it was surreal. I remember watching it like I was like everybody else. I was thinking 57 seconds, like it looks done, and then to pull leg kick out, I was absolutely like buzzing for him. It's like mint for English, and like I think English MMA is on the rise now. There's some absolute killers over there now.
So you're saying you need Big Paul to bring you into clubs?
Yeah, definitely need Big Paul to bring us in the clubs. Look at the man, he's beautiful.
I mean, that's true. It's very factual. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Hey, Mick. Sticking with the UK scene, can you talk to us about like the buzz that you might be getting, with Leon being a champion, the UK scene just seemingly bubbling. He was profiled on the BBC TV yesterday. So you're entering the UFC while it's so rampantly popular back home. How does that make you feel?
It's amazing. I've timed it probably perfectly. That UK MMA is doing mint now, and I'm fortunate there's not many heavyweights, so it's probably a little bit of an easier path for me than some of these lighter guys. When there's like 10, well, like you're lucky to find one, especially in the UK, where like you're lucky to find a couple. So it's mint now, and like you watch people like that, and everybody starts the same, and it's like when you're younger, you're thinking to yourself like, am I good enough as these guys? Like training in super gyms and that, but like, why am I not? We're just people. I train just as much as anybody else, so like, why am I not?
And with Leon following Michael Bisping as a UFC champion, out of maybe Jack Shaw and Tom Aspinall, who do you think's got the best chance of being the UK's third champion in the UFC?
At the moment, probably Tom. Obviously, his knee was a bit sore. I have to say how that was going, but obviously he was tearing up at the minute. So I'd like to see him back and win a belt. He's definitely going to. He's amazing.
Congrats on your win.
Thank you, man. Are we?